Oh, it's recording.
There it is.
Great. Okay.
Awesome.
Hello, everyone.
We're all like really early. Wow, that's great.
I feel like with enough tech stuff, we have to buffer in the oh crap moments when we realize that things won't work. So,
Yeah.
Murphy's Law came up. That's why we're here so late.
I can tell you all about that right now. So I'm Desiree Wolcott-Cushman, and I work at the Rockwood Makerspace in Multnomah County, Portland, Oregon. So we're going through lots of stuff right now. We're having a whole evaluation of our space, and right now, like in the other room, my boss's boss is here to talk about the presentation she's making to our library director today. So my mind's been a little bit elsewhere, which is why y'all got spammed the other day.
Well, it seems like even though the emails were a little bit wonky, everyone's going to be here. So that's really good.
That's good. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
How many people will be there? What groups will be here today?
I think we had about 9 people RSVP, maybe closer to 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But yeah, 9 to 12.
Mm-hmm. And then we didn't make it like you have to RSVP, so I'm curious if anyone shows up who didn't RSVP. Yeah, and we'll be doing the breakout room, so hopefully that all goes well with the tech.
Judith is here, but she's going to get in on another computer, I think. I mean, I could put you on this one, and then we can just share, but then you can't host a breakout. Oops, sorry, I should put it on mute.
Let's see. Okay. Well, while you guys are here, I can actually start putting you into the groups. Y'all from Philadelphia, did you let us know which one you wanted to be in?
Oh, I'm not sure if I actually sent that email. But we were interested in the what piece of advice would you give yourself?
Okay, cool. I'll put you in there.
I think that'd be really nice.
Yeah. Let's see. Breakout groups.
Just know with the breakout groups that you'll get an invite and you don't have to go there right away. But if you invite, you can go back and forth between the two.
Okay.
So you could try it out, see if it works, and then come back.
Yeah, let's see. This is a good test run for me to do this on the fly. Breakout rooms. Can I add people?
Oh, I sent it to Amelia privately.
Oh, oh wait, okay, I see it. Oh yeah, hello, Norfolk Public Library is here, still working through some technical difficulties. Okay. Oh yeah, we see you, just not your face, just like a yellow blob.
No. I'm here now too.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, I'll put you in.
It's just an orange. Just orange. Okay.
Fun like, oh my gosh, where's everybody?
You're here.
Source or setting? System setting.
Hi, Nick.
On laptop HDMI.
The speaker should work. Just come off the laptop. Yeah.
All right, so it is officially 10 for me, so let's wait about 3 more minutes and make sure everyone's settled before we get started.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I see in Norfolk Public Library, you said you're having trouble getting sound to work. You want to try saying something? Yeah, I hear kind of a fuzzy noise. So it looks like the sound is working, but not the microphone.
Amelia, do you want to make Nick a co-host so he can record too?
Yeah, for sure. And I'll make Judith a co-host also.
Okay.
So you guys can record when we're in the breakout groups. That way, all the breakout groups will be recorded. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go close my door.
Let me sit over there. What was it, a button? A sticker? Sticker. A sticker.
Stickers.
Nice.
Yay!
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry. Awesome.
Yay! What fixed it? How did it work?
There was a sticker over there.
Oh.
And we had to go into like the microphone down here, and for some reason our output sound was all the way down.
Yay! Solving problems. Yay! Oh geez. Okay. I see Hillary's here. If you didn't respond to the email about what group you'd like to be a part of, definitely say it in the chat and I'll start adding people to the breakout groups just so that when the transition happens, it'll be quicker. There's the groups are, what piece of advice would you give yourself? What would be the best way to share our experiences with new members of the makerspace? And why are you part of this community of practice? So those are the 3 different questions. So you have to choose one. Let's see. Oh, awesome. Yeah, and Christina put it in the chat. Okay.
Oh, no. Okay.
Unless you want to type.
Either is fine by me. Okay.
I feel like you can see a room.
So I guess we'll take 1 more minute. Oh, Hillary. Thank you, Hillary. I put you in there. Yay. Okay, number 3. In there. Thanks, guys. Okay, Norfolk Public Library, I'd like to do 1. YOUmedia Chicago, I'd like to do number 2. Thank you, guys. This makes it so much easier for me. Eric, okay. Trisha, okay. Cool. Cool, looks like we'll have some even Yeah, thank you, Megan. Awesome. Number 1. Alrighty, should we get started then, since it's 5 minutes after? Okay, let's do it. So, greetings. Welcome to our first YOUmedia Live Hangout for 2019. It's April 25th, and we're here to relaunch the Hangout. So I don't know if y'all have seen the YouTube videos, but there's some recordings of past Hangouts. I think some of the people here were in those past Hangouts, but we're trying to make it a little more informal and a way for us to just meet each other virtually and share best practices and say hi. We're really excited, and I'm really excited to hear about the report, as well as just hear everyone's ideas and collect that information. And that's going to inform Hangouts in the future and how we continue with the COP in the future. So definitely really, really excited to get all this data from everyone.
So we're your hosts. That was Amelia, Pima County, Arizona, and I'm Desiree Wolcott-Cushman from Multnomah County, Portland, Oregon. And yeah, we're really excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To have you here.
Yeah, so for the icebreaker, we've all kind of introduced ourselves, but let's just one more time, if you can write your name, your location, and then a favorite program or passive activity that you have done in the last, let's say, semester or year. So if everyone can put that in the chat, and we'll call out what we see. And if you're okay with being contacted about the program, just write like yes afterwards or something. That way, if someone's interested, they can contact you about the program. Oh, hi, Loveland.
Hello.
Oh, the Tri-Teen Lit Fest. Oh my gosh, I've been stalking that on like the website. That's so cool. Hi, Loveland. We're just getting started. No, if you can just write your names and location and a favorite program that you have.
It can be a passive program or like a whole activity.
Do a maker training. Oh, cool. Creative coding and justice. I love that combination.
There you go.
Teen takeover. Oh.
Decided the same thing.
Sewing series. I'm interested in this teen takeover. What are they taking over?
Go for it.
Herb garden, animation. I guess I'll put my name in too.
Okay.
Crafty Robots.
Yeah.
Nice. Ice cream for science fair.
So bad.
Salty art. A miniature 3D print making, or a tiny 3D printed block. So it's like stamping.
Oh,
3D
yes.
prints. That's really cool. So is everyone okay with being contacted about this if someone wanted them to?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you guys are okay with it? Yes, okay. That's good to know. So if you see any, okay, yeah, yes, awesome. So if you see any that really strike your interest, you can either get in touch with us or just get in touch with the person directly, and collaborate around that. Anything involving a circuit. Okay, cool. Oh, teen takeover. Teens tell us exactly what they want to do, and we provide exactly that. It's for teens by teens. That's really cool. So it's just completely teen-led. A geeky book club. And we'll share this chat too afterwards. So I think let's just keep going. If anyone wants to share more in the chat, feel free to always, put whatever you want in the chat. So
we have guests. So today our guests are Sarah Ryan and from Holton. Oh, wow, I hear myself and it's totally distracting me. I'm gonna put it on mute, see if I can change it. I wonder if it's because we're both.
That might be it.
yeah, you're in the same room.
Try it again. Okay. So we're supposed to have Sarah Ryan, but I haven't seen her pop up yet on the page. But Nick is here from Nick. I'm like looking at this and my page is in orange because
Studio MPO in Nashville, Tennessee. If that helps.
Thank you. Do you see Sarah on here or did she?
I have not seen her or in the Google Doc. Let me look real quick.
Okay. So they were going to review for the 2018 reflection and reporting process and for the reassociation of your lab and the National YOUmedia LL Network that they created. It was the survey that was sent out that a lot of us did. It had some really great questions, and I'm really excited to hear about what was reported and what information you have to share.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and get started, and then if Sarah jumps in, she'll do the second part. Otherwise, I'll just keep going.
Okay.
I think we sent out this document to everyone, right? The YOUmedia report. Yeah. Yes, great. Okay, good. So hopefully some of you have had the chance to kind of look through it already, but I thought I'd just kind of flip through and sort of talk about the highlights and talk about why we chose what we did for the reporting piece. So the big number there is just over 300,000 annual visits by youth across the YOUmedia network, which includes, of course, libraries, museums, mobile visits, and community events. So spaces as well as our mobile apps. And then that's just the map there that reflects where we all are. That can be found on the YOUmedia website. We looked over the data from the past couple of years and chose to represent those here. So common skills that mentors possessed. We found that graphic design was like number 1, coding and audio production were kind of number 2. And then number 3 was like video production, photography, art, and robotics. And then of course some other things in there, but I'll just kind of talk about the highlights. So it's interesting to know across the network that graphic design is such a big skill of mentors. I know a lot of my mentors here in Nashville do some graphic design and have that as a personal skill, even though we don't do a ton of graphic design workshops. Types of programs offered. This kind of looked at not necessarily like coding, robotics, photography, etc., but the sort of almost like pedagogical approach. So facilitated programs was number 1, which makes sense since we're sort of a mentor-driven network that we have facilitated programs by mentors, librarians, museum employees, etc. Open programs was number 2. Let's see, community partner programs was a number 3. So a lot of us seem to be working with community partners to bring in program, which is great. We do a lot of that here. It's a great way to get skills that we may not have or to be able to increase our reach a little bit. Quite a few places we're doing teacher professional development, which was interesting and a nice way, I think, for the network to sort of give back to other educators. And some other good stuff on there as well. So please take a look at that report when you get a chance. One thing that was sort of surprises is badging. Does everybody remember when we were really talking real heavily about badging a couple of years ago? And I think that's a conversation that seems like it kind of fades away and then it kind of comes back again. And I think now it's sort of in the dialogue again. But across the network, 60% said they were doing no badging at all. 33% said they were doing badging. So that might be an interesting point of discussion on the community of practice, is to have those of you that are doing badging to kind of pop up and talk about what that looks like, I know it's something we sort of, in Nashville, we sort of kind of dip our toes into. We have badging for one program here, and that fits in with that 6.7% of us who are doing some certification. So like we just do it for our recording studios, for example. And that's it for the hard, sort of the quantitative data. There was a lot more collected this year. I know we got a lot of great info from you, but those are just sort of the highlights that we thought we would share out in this report. Have we seen Sarah jump in yet for the sort of qualitative side? Amelia, Desiree, no?
I haven't seen her, no.
I haven't, yeah.
Well, I will continue and kind of pull some highlights from this part of the report. So we asked the labs to report the programs that they were most proud of. And some of you I know just shared out in the chat box there. So here are some of the highlights. Hartford Library had a satellite site at the Albany branch, which serves a high volume of teenagers every day. We transferred ownership of our youth organizing platform, the Youth Action Affinity Squad. Squad is a great name. To a community partner who hired a part-time coordinator to continue the work of recruiting and training youth to lead direct action campaigns for political progress. We have someone from Hartford here today, right? I think I saw. Yes. Yay, Hartford. Yeah, that sounds really interesting and a really cool way to sort of spread what we're doing by pulling in a partner. So I'm sure that could be something that people would be interested in learning more about. Teen Advisory Council to collaborate with visiting artists and local creatives, and that's Dallas Museum of Art. That's really nice to see those folks from the museum world kind of sharing what they're doing as well, and that Teen Advisory is important to them just as it is to people in libraries or community centers. Glass blowing. Okay, this one's great. Springfield's doing glass blowing. I don't think anyone's from Springfield is here, right? I didn't see anyone. Maybe I missed you. But they're doing glass blowing, audio production, which I think a lot of us are doing, welding, and they have a wood shop and technical theater. So I think that would be really interesting to prod them about some of these programs. Like, has anyone done glass blowing in this group right here in their space? Has anyone done it at all? It seems like a super complicated thing. So maybe that's somewhere that we could get in there. Let's see, we'll jump in. I shared a little bit about some of the stuff we're proud of. We also do a lot of film production here in Nashville. CPL Teen Printmakers Program. This is a cohort of 10 teens at Chicago Public Library that learned the printmaking process and created gallery pieces inspired by the history of Chicago printmaking. These pieces became a traveling exhibit that were shown in 7 different library branches. And then also, as Jeremy mentioned earlier, the Teen Lit Festival. We've got Eric and Jeremy here, I believe. That teen printmaking thing, is there anything else you want to share about that? Like, how long did that rotating show travel around?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. So the program started last summer. We recruited teens to sign up. We were looking for a cohort of 10 teens who would commit to about an 8-week program to learn printmaking skills. The great part of the project for us as the public library is that the Teen Services Department collaborated directly with our special collections team. So the teen artists were able to have experiences in our special collections department, learning how to access the archives, to find inspiration pieces that they use then to create their own prints. So that was a really cool part of the project. The prints that they made, we basically made 2 versions of the exhibition and then sent them out to branches simultaneously. So they were on display in each branch for 3 weeks at 2 branches simultaneously. So we hit 6 branches in a period of about 2.5 months. And then the exhibit came back to Harold Washington, and it's on display in one of our main exhibit corridors, where according to our door counts for all 7 locations, as of now, more than a month ago, we estimate about 50,000 people saw the work. So, was a really, really cool project.
Wow,
And
that's
the exhibit's still up in our space. So
in the YOUmedia branch.
yeah, it's actually in our corridor that is outside of YOUmedia, but it's in the main library corridor that hundreds of people walk through every day.
That's really cool. Interesting way to sort of do like a almost like artist in residency kind of stuff, but also utilize library services by getting into archives and then some really hands-on stuff.
Yeah, and I'll just mention the other piece of the project that was really cool, and this is all led by our art mentor in YOUmedia, who's a professional artist. He also wrote into the project a collaboration with a printmaking studio that's been a long-running printmaking collaborative in Chicago that has a really awesome reputation for doing high-quality work. And so our teen cohort spent a week in that collaborative space where they just have just absolutely A-grade printmaking studio, and they loved it.
That's great. Very cool. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm seeing a question from Megan about the Teen Services Department versus YOUmedia. Could you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. I'll give a quick version and just shut me up if I'm going on too long, because it can be a really, I could go on a long time. But basically, the Teen Services Department at Chicago Public Library includes the YOUmedia. Our Teen Services Department was formed about 5 years ago. Prior to that, we were part of the Children's Services Department, but our commissioner, based on the success of YOUmedia in 5 of our locations, of which Nick was a part of at that time, and then he was stolen away from us to Nashville, and I have no bitterness about that. We then created a Teen Services Department, and at the time that the commissioner asked me to be the director of that department, it was me and 3 other people. Today, we have about 50 librarians and library associates and 20 grant-funded positions, and we're now operating YOUmedia programs at 21 of our branches. So we've taken the YOUmedia model that when I started was operating at 5 locations, and we've expanded that out largely through the addition of city investment in library positions and continued funding from our foundation for grant-funded positions and to support the acquisition of programs and materials, or largely additional funds to support some technology, and then program resources from our foundation. So that's the short story.
Thank you. 50, wow. 50 staff members. That's so many.
That's impressive.
Cool. Yeah, I would say, I think, just a guess, that's probably the largest YOUmedia affiliate in the country at this point. Cool. Thank you, Jeremy. Let's see. I'm going to pull back into a couple highlights. And actually, I like Jeremy sharing out. Maybe if somebody is from any of these branches that want to talk a little bit about this. Lynn Public Library, I don't think they're here today, are they? Maybe I miss them. But video game design and graphic novel book club is fabulous. Tuscaloosa, Teen Tech was our first program and has grown so much with the space. I saw Tiffany and Lance, I think, right? Is Teen Tech, you want to give us just a sentence description of Teen Tech? Switch places? Sorry.
We unmute ourselves.
Sorry, if you don't have a mic, my apologies. Just tell me when you're off.
So our Teen Tech program, it just originally kind of was a little like, I think, actually it's funny because Lance is with us now, but Lance originally started it. And so it was Lance, and then it was Rosie, and then now I kind of got to taking over. But it used to just be, I want to say, about like 10 kids that would come every week, and now we have about 30 kids that have been coming pretty consistently from from that, and we've kind of branched our teen tech into even kind of like a more mobile classroom kind of situation. So we take like what we do in teen tech and kind of make that our home base, and then we've taken that and we take it in a more formal sense, I guess, out to schools, and we're calling that our mobile tech or our mobile tech lab. So then we're doing it in like a classroom setting, just to kind of partner with some of our city schools, city and county schools.
That's great. Thank you. I know you guys were doing that. Lance, go ahead.
Tiffany and I are trying to work together. So I'm managing a lot of the younger kids programs now. So we're trying to create some feeder programs for some of the programs that Tiffany's doing. So we run concurrent programs. So she has a creative writing program that happens up here, and then the regular teen tech program. And there's a Girls Who Code program. So right now the feeder program is the Lego program that we've got, but we're kind of working on that and doing some more computational thinking things. But we've tried to set those programs up so they're at the same time, so that siblings from each of the programs are able to come, and then our intention is that kids from the younger kids program will graduate into the teen programs.
That's great. That's funny. I just got a question last week about trying to set up some feeder programming in the children's department here. So we may need to reach out to you all there in Tuscaloosa, get some pointers on that.
I noticed a question. How many kids or how many students do you serve, Lance?
For the younger kids?
Yeah.
We're seeing for the creative writing program, it started out, we had a solid 3 that were with us for most of the semester, and it blossomed into between 12 and 15 each week over the past month. For the tech program, or we call it the Make It Lab, it's been anywhere from 10 to 12 each week. And then we've got a pretty solid group that comes to that. We get a few new ones every once in a while, but we've got some regulars that have been in attendance, which has helped a lot, having the same kids coming each week, so we can kind of build on what it is that they're working on.
I think a big thing with us too, like wanting to do this, is since we do have a bunch of kids that come from like the county, which is like 30 minutes away, their families or their grandparents, whatever, drive them so far into town that we want to make sure that like them and their siblings, they don't just have to sit around while their older sibling gets to do something. We want to make sure that they kind of both get stuff out of it when they come this far out.
Nick, did you have more to share out?
Yes, I do. Sorry, I think I was on mute there. Cool. Thank you, Tuscaloosa. I think for the sake of time, sorry, I'm just doing a quick time check here. I'm going to jump to just a couple more. Here's a couple. We kind of found some programs when we were looking through that were really had some interesting titles that we wanted to know more about. And so I think we'll just ask real quick, who is doing Crafty Robots? And do you want to give us a quick sentence on that?
Okay, so Crafty Robots, I did share a little PDF. It's based on HeboCon, which basically means bad quality robot. It has been a really great program for us to have, and I know that Jamie up in Fort Vancouver, who's not here with us, also does a version of this. She's part of the HeboCon community where they have a huge event and they make robots and then they compete. We do it a little differently here. We invite a workshop, and so the adults aren't a part of it. Which is great. So we don't have like adults saying, no, you're not doing it right. It's got to be the best robot. And the whole thing is there are technical disqualifications. You get points marked down if the object is too technical. So if like a kid brought in their like really awesome Lego robot that is going to like completely annihilate all of the little dollar store put together robots, then they get marked down 6 points. So part of it is to lower the bar and lower the expectation level, so people feel like that they can succeed. I mean, you can succeed at a crappy robot, right? You know, it doesn't have to be the best robot. So what we do is we take dollar store items, like dollar store cars. We go to thrift stores. We pick out like different toys that are broken that all you might need to do is replace the battery casing. And we let them design for 2 hours, and then we have a competition for an hour, and the crappiest robot wins. Here, this is Princess Hippobot. She is a combination of different parts. So her chassis, and we have the kids take things apart down to their core. So the chassis, which is held on by tape, is the core component that makes it go. And then this was a bubble maker wand, and in here is a vibrating toothbrush. So a lot of times the kids will actually just make a vibrating toothbrush and take apart the vibrating toothbrush and then put it in something like a brush, make it like a bristle bot, and it will fail. I mean, it will just like literally sit on the field and vibrate. And so it's a sumo wrestle thing where they try to push each other off. It only takes about a minute for the competition. And we talk about the failures and the problems that they had designing the robot. And it's a really great and like feel good moment. And that's it. That's pretty much it.
I love that. I love the intentionality of it. We accidentally make a lot of crappy robots, so it's fun to be able to like use that as the mechanism. That's fabulous. I know we have to wrap up in a second in this portion. I want to say if we didn't share out something that you were proud of and you want to talk more about it, please do so in the community of practice. I've already got great ideas just from the quick discussion we've had here, so I think that this would be really valuable for people to share more out. I would like to hear real fast, because I think Norfolk is one of our newer branches, and maybe they'd want to talk briefly about 5, 6, 7, 8 Shine before we move on. I thought I saw Norfolk. Did I see Norfolk? Yes, no, maybe I didn't. Oh no, there they are. Hey, I think you guys are muted.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, so the branch that runs 5, 6, 7, 8 Shine, they're not, but it's a program that I started, so I know a lot about its inception. 5, 6, 7, 8 Shine is an actual dance team that we have. We have a dance instructor. She teaches several different age groups and different skill levels. So she does a Tiny Tot hip hop class, which is as adorable as it sounds. It's literally preschool age students, and she choreographs like Bubble Guppies, Magic Schoolhouse, little cuteness like that. And they do a hip hop jazz. For our YOUmedia level, they are a performance squad. They go around the community and they perform. They've been in music videos. They've done a couple of parades, concerts, and they get invited all over the place. So we just basically have a dance instructor that comes in. It's about 30 boys and girls or teens on our dance team for the performance and travel squad. And they just come in and have a good time. The kids help out with the choreography. They choose what their uniform is going to look like. They coordinate different flash mobs throughout the city, and they just have a blast with it.
Thank you for sharing that. It sounds so awesome. I want to see pictures. Will you share pictures on the community of practice?
Yeah, we can. They have an Instagram page. It's just called 5, 6, 7, 8 Shine Dancers. But they have an Instagram page, and the choreographer does a very good job of going on there and posting images and clips of their different routines when they go out and perform.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. And Norfolk also, this probably might be your first hangout, so thank you for being here. Cool. I'm not going to read through the rest because I know we need to move on, but hopefully everybody received this. If you didn't, I would assume bother Christina maybe, or Amelia or Desiree to get a copy of it. And please read through. We've got some more interesting stuff to share and just some kind of general notes about the network. And with that, I will thank you for your time and quietly in the corner here.
Thank you so much, Nick. And thank you everyone who shared. It's so inspiring to hear, and just like so interesting, like all the different things that people are doing. Yeah, and if it's not posted on the forum yet, we should probably, Christina says email youmedia@nationalwritingproject.org if you need us to send a copy of the report. It's a very interesting report. Okay, let's move right along. So now we're going to get into our smaller discussion groups. I think let's see if I can share my screen. These are, let's see. So these are the different breakout groups that we have you in so far. If you haven't, I see a lot of people are already in here. Can you see this list of groups right here? Yeah. Okay, so if you're not in the group, write in the chat which one you would like to be in, number 1, number 2, or number 3, and I'll just add you. But actually, I'll probably just stop the share right now and start and open up the room. So we'll have about 15 minutes to talk about this discussion question. And it's kind of up to you how you want to go about this discussion. But there'll be a person in each group who can record. So we'll have that recorded. So let's just go back. Yeah. So the idea is really trying to generate some ideas, some advice, or stuff about sharing, or why you're in this community. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. Cool. Trisha, number 2, and I'm actually gonna just open all the rooms, and you guys can get going. And then if you're not in a room, I'll start adding you to them. Okay, here we go. And you have to accept. Let's see. So we have a right. Loveland, have you decided? So I have Holmea, Loveland, and YOUmedia Hartford are not assigned yet. So which one do you want to be in, Loveland? Let me unmute you. I can't hear you. Let's see. Can you try again?
We're in the last one, the value of the community of practice.
Okay. There you go. I just sent you the invite.
Thank you.
Let's see. Okay, 60 seconds. Oh, good. Okay. That makes it, my timer's done. Yeah, we were talking about like having retreats at different conferences, basically. So like doing a survey about which conference people are going to, and then saying like these 3 will have like a COP retreat the day before, or a meetup the day before.
Oh, nice.
As well as like making a directory and like share, like being like, this is the person you can contact for this information.
The directory would be, I'm trying to think what mechanism, but we could think about that.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Hello. Everybody's back.
See you guys over there?
Yeah. Yay.
See you guys over there.
They're just waiting. Hey. Okay. All right, I think we're all back. How did that feel?
It went well.
Can we have someone from each group share like a short summary of what you talked about?
Sure.
Starting with the group number 1.
Group number 1. So we had what piece of advice would you give yourself or new learning labs about starting and maintaining a makerspace? So I heard a lot of people saying, if I could go back, here's what I would do. So letting grown-ups know what teens, like the emphasis on letting grown-ups know, like, here's what teens need, here are their needs, here are their wants, and really being firm about that. That came up a lot. Talked about, we feel less alone. We talked about a lot of frustration when it comes to like, here's what we need as a creative space, and here's what, you know, we're being asked of from other people, and ways to get our teens from starting off with the hangout in Homago and moving into other areas, messing around, geeking out, the difficulties of having librarians also be the experts, which is not always the case, and having experts who are able to take teens to that next level. We talked about our gamers and how lovely it is that they game, but how we can expose them to other different technologies that they can also take advantage of and use, but how to get them to just see it, to not just have the equipment there, but to have people use it so that they can see what it's about, to help guide them in it. Let me know if everybody else that was in that session, if I missed anything, please step in and mention it. I think that's what I remember, but if I missed anything, let me know.
Awesome. That's a lot of stuff, and we'll have the recording too to go back to also.
Yay.
Awesome. All right, group number 2. So I popped into that group, but does anyone else want to share?
Trisha, do you want to share? To put you on the spot.
Yeah.
You're very good at talking.
Now I'm definitely going to swear on this webinar, Nick. What the heck? I didn't. Okay. Yeah, so we talked a lot about getting people face-to-face again. We talked a little bit about structuring, like doing a survey to figure out where people are consistently going, which conferences people are consistently attending, and then saying for sure that we will have a couple of people the day before that conference starts each year available so that new COP members can go to that conference and meet people face to face. So like a kind of smushed down version of the retreats. We also talked about encouraging that by making it a recommendation when a new site comes on board, that those staff members be encouraged or supported to attend those specific conferences. So like picking 2 or 3 every year that we can consistently structure around. We also talked a lot about we talked a little bit at the end about regional meetups and how to move that forward. Hillary and I are going to meet offline. Nick said he's working on it in the South. So I think with a little bit of focused effort in a couple of different areas, we can see people meeting up in person more often. And then I think third thing we talked about, which took up a lot of the time because it's an awesome idea, is creating a directory so that people have an idea of who else is doing this work across the country, what their specialties are, what they're interested in, where they're at. And then can feel a little bit more able to access the information and skills that those people have for their own learning. End scene. Did I do it? We good?
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks, Trisha.
Thanks, Trisha. And you didn't swear. Thank you.
My teammate Nigel is in the room, and he also just applauded that. So you're all welcome. I'm doing great these days.
All righty, let's move right along. So for why you're part of this community of practice and what parts are most valuable to you?
Well, it seemed that why we're all a part of it, or the small group we had, was to share information and to not feel so isolated, because in our systems a lot, we're some of the few people that are doing what we do. And so in our own systems, we're sort of separate from the group, sort of like some of the teen librarians are, you're maybe the only teen library in the whole branch, or in an area. And part of, and just sharing the information with each other and getting information from other people and like really just being a part of a community was part of what was valuable to us. And Jeremy did bring up ALA in 2020 in June. Is that in Chicago, Jeremy? Do you want to pop in on this one?
Yes, I would like to, because I probably should have joined group number 2. I didn't realize, because what I started talking about. I was talking about how one of the things that I valued of being, in the community of practice is the face-to-face meetups that in different formats, and that Chicago Public Library hosted one about 3 years ago, the day before ALA started in Chicago, and we're actually very interested in hosting another one. I don't know how many people might come to ALA in the summer of 2020, but if there's a critical mass, we've got space that's downtown that we don't have to pay for to host a conference. And we have a team that would be very excited to put together a program with others for a face-to-face meetup. So that's what I was dreaming about.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds like this meetup idea sounds very intriguing. In-person IRL. Okay, so we only have 2 minutes until 11, so I want to make sure we're respecting everyone's time. Before we leave, can you all bring sleeping bags? Oh my gosh, yeah, we can just sleep at YOUmedia Chicago. Perfect. All of us. Could everyone just write in the chat one thing that you'd be interested in learning or talking about at a future hangout. We're planning to have them about quarterly, so look for one this summer. So before you skedaddle, just write like one thing, and it can be very broad. History.
I want to thank everyone for joining us today and being here. Despite all of the time confusion, I really appreciate that you all showed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you all so much for taking the time. And we could also unmute and be like, and say bye to everyone. That could be fun. Let me see if I can unmute everyone. So yeah, once you've written your thing, I just closed the chat. You can just unmute yourself and say goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, bye.
See you all.
Good job.
See you soon. We miss you.
Nice to meet everyone.
Good to meet you. Let's see, I'm gonna wait. Yeah. Oh.
Sound like a robot. You and a crappy robot.
It was a crappy robot.
So I'm gonna
Right.
hang on just so we can. I'll wait till the last person leaves, and then I'll copy the chat and send you guys the video also.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Oh yeah, and we all have videos that we share that we recorded in the breakout sessions.
Yeah. So we should create. Do you want me to like put the one I have into a shared space, and then everybody can put theirs there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine may be a little wonky because I thought I was pushing a different button. And so it started midway through. So I apologize.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay. It's
It happens.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. The fact that we even have some recordings is super.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
You guys did a
Okay.
great job. This is awesome. Like
Thanks,
how many
guys.
people came
Fun.
too?
Yeah.
You
It was a good
started-
turnout.
It was a really good turnout.
Yeah. It was a great turnout.
Nicely done.
Okay. Wow. Onward. Yeah. Virtual high five.
Good job, everybody.
Y'all. Okay. Yeah. We'll be in touch about more hangouts.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.